Okay, this is gonna be the final topic for this course. So congratulations for surviving this semester. Well, it's been an interesting one. Hopefully the next one it will be a little better, a little less stressful. So we already talked about the prokarya. Now we're going to talk about the eukaryotes. And first of all, let's just keep something in mind that when we're talking about eukaryotes, we are going to divide it in two different levels of organization. The first one, unicellular, as the name may imply, it's only one cell. Most of those organisms are pretty simple, and the function and the behavior is pretty simple. The colony is like one step before the multicellular organism. So in a colony, we will have several unicellular organisms working together in order to achieve one task. It could be for reproduction. It could be to for getting food or something like that, or getting protection. But eventually, this colony will fall apart, and each individual from that colony will be able to actually form their own colony. Then the last level is going to be multicellular organism. We, as a human being, well, we are multicellular organism. Most of the living beings that you can see are multicellular organism. I mean, the plants, the fungi, the animals, all of them are multicellular organisms. So first, we're going to start with the unicellular. So we're going to talk about the Protista. We're going to divide it into, well, 6 different types. The phylum Protozoa, that's the one that you know because of the amoeba. You remember amoeba sisters. Flagellata, ciliata, sporozoa, plasmodium, very common. If you got a friend, well, I don't think so, but maybe you got an old acquaintance, or you know some people that injected Botox into their face, or I don't know any other places. It's well, you got that from the plasmodium. Um, well, we got the phylum Bacilliopi. Just remember that, well, from one time to another, we thought that these protists were actually bacteria. The division were until like 4 years ago. No, I'm sorry, like 50 or 60 years ago. Um, so some of the name will be pretty much similar to the one that you have with bacteria. It doesn't mean that they are bacteria. Then, well, we have the algae. Any of those could be, well, very common, the ones that you get in a red tide or something like that. So we got the green algae, the brown algae, the red algae, and the blue-green algae. Those are the most common. I'm, I'm, I'm sorry. I just made a mistake here. The plasmodium is one nasty parasite that you get from a mosquito bite. I just confused that with the buttocks. The most common plasmodium is the malaria. I just wanted to correct that. Sorry for that. Then, well, we got the fungi. Those could be unicellular as yeast or multicellular as mushrooms that you can see. So we are going to divide into like 4 different categories. Uh, the molds, also known as chytrio, chytridiomycota, the zygomycota, like the bread molds, Bacillium mycota, the ones that you actually can see, the mushrooms, the rust, the stuff that you can grow over your garden, and the ascomycota, where we have the yeast and stuff like that. One stuff that you need to remember that for this, they can reproduce sexually or asexually. Most of the time, they will do it asexually. For the unicellular fungi, they will be able to actually form colonies. So they will have some kind of complex structures there. This was just assumed for this text. I'm sorry, you can see that. So the fungi are important because of, well, they are the ones that are responsible for recycling the material. So remember that they are able to actually digest, to decompose the dead plants and animals. So thanks to them, well, we can have all those nutrients right back to the food chain. If you don't eat meat, fungi could be a pretty nice option to get those nutrients into you. Some of them are beneficial, some of them are pathogens. You can have some nasty yeast in your pubic area, or some other fungi growing at any other place on your skin. More common than you may think of. But some of them are beneficial because thanks to them, we got the most effective way to fight bacteria, at least from the past 30 to 40 years. That's penicillin. And well, we got that from a fungus. It was actually like a serendipity moment. They weren't looking for that, but they found that. And also, well, we got the alcohol that we can get from fungi. So yeah, they are nice. And well, you can eat those. For plants, generally we are going to divide it into 2 different types: the ones that can make seeds, the one that don't make seeds. And the ones that don't make seeds are the most simple ones. Here we got very basic one, the one that doesn't have any roots or stem or leaf, or any structure at all, like algae. And some of them will have some like kind of division. They will have some division in their structure. So we got the mosses, but they still doesn't have the vascular system. So they cannot grow larger. The first type of plant that was actually able to transport the nutrients through to the plants, so they have a vascular system, a xylem and a phloem, is the ferns, helechos in Spanish. So they have roots, they have a stem, they have leaves, and they can grow very tall. Then we got the other classification, the ones that make seeds. And from that, we're going to make the division between gymnosperm. That's the one that don't have flowers, like the conifers or any pines that you can think of. And the angiosperm, the ones that can make flowers. The angiosperm are like the 80% of all the plants that you know, and the 80% of all the plants in the planet. So they are pretty much common. Any plant with a flower, that's an angiosperm. Just in case you read some articles, you will know, well, the proper name to make the division. Well, after that, well, let's talk a little about the animals. Not that much. We're going to try to keep it simple. Remember that we got different levels of organization. So we got the tissue, several kind of tissue, depending on where you're talking about. In the blood vessels, we can have simple squamous epithelium. If you need to absorb or secrete something, we can have ciliate columnar epithelium, very common with the trachea, bronchi, and uterus. If you only want to, well, manage water, we got the simple cuboidal epithelium, very useful for glands and kidneys tubules. And well, in order to absorb the nutrients, we have this specific simple smooth columnar epithelium. Those are the four types of epithelial tissue. Then we got like the most common type of tissue, the connective tissue. I mean, we got a lot of different ones. So we can have loose, dense, and specialized. For the loose, well, we got the adipose, the reticular, the areolar. For the dense connective tissue, well, we got like the ligaments or the tendon. You know, the difference between a tendon and a ligament is that the tendon goes from the muscle to the bone, and a ligament goes from bone to bone. It will help the bones come together and move in a specific way. And well, the most common ligament injury in sport people is the one that they have in the knee. It's the first one to break most of the time. If if you got to run or stuff like that, yeah, you're going to damage that. And well, the ligament is what we know as yellow elastic connective tissue. Is one of the dense regular connective tissue. And then we have the white fibrous connective tissue. That's the cord, the tendon, sorry. For the specialized connective tissue, we got several of those. We got cartilage, bone, blood. Yeah, blood is a type of tissue, just in case you were wondering. The extracellular matrix is just with a lot more water than any other kind of tissue, but it's still a tissue. So the bone will could be compact and spongy. We are not going to focus on that. And the cartilage, well, we got three different kinds: the elastic, the fibrous, the alline, depending on the purpose that you want to. There is a very specific disease. Maybe you can look for that on the internet, where the cartilage will transform into bone. Like normally, yeah, when you are kids, um, some of your bones, they are not actually bones but cartilage. Because of some calcification, they are going to transform into bones. uh, but sometimes it can happen, like it can start happening with the whole body, and it will affect also the muscles in your body. It will transform them into bones. um, you can look for that. It's called more or less endochondral ossification. Very, very sad way to die. Then we got the muscular tissue. Remember that we got three of them: the skeletal, the one that you can move. Um, it's voluntary, and it's striated. And maybe later you will see, if you continue studying biology, you can see what is different between striated and spindle shaped. Right now, just for you to know that there is a difference. We got the smooth muscles. Those are involuntary. I mean, if you ask me, they are pretty good at doing their jobs. Um, how many times does your well intestines uh, actually stop working? Yeah, they can work all day, and they will have a specific kind of muscle that is very important for life. I mean, they have to work 24/7. That's the cardiac muscles, the one that you have in your heart. Well, it's involuntary. You cannot control that. And then, well, the most important type of tissue is going to be the neural tissue. That's the difference between us, the human, and any other animal in that kind, with any simple organism like the plants or the prokarya or bacteria and stuff like that. We got a specific kind of tissue that will transfer information. And if you gather enough of them, we have a process that we call emergence. If you gather enough of these simple cells, you can have something very complex, like thinking, like imagine, something like that. Very important to notice that not all neural tissue is going to be nerve cells. Some of them will be glial cells, neuroglial cells, if you want to be more specific. But those are equally important for some persons with mental disorders. Sometimes it can be correlated with the presence or the absence of these neuroglial cells. So it's a pretty big deal. And that's the last one. So thank you all for paying attention to this. I know it's been a hard semester. Later I will tell you what you will have to do with this information. Thank you so much.